Much like the Caped Crusader in Gotham City, our co-host Justin Strnad is living a double life as the biggest man on MMA YouTube during the day and by night, terrorizing backfields filled with Aaron Rodgers. Justin, first start in over 3 years this past Sunday at the New York Jets. How we feeling? You played pretty well, a couple of highlight reel plays, but how we feeling after our first start in over 3 years?
Yeah, man, we're feeling like we just played a freaking NFL football game at linebacker, and it's worth.
I don't know, but yeah,
the win is worth the pain, absolutely. But definitely a bit sore on this Tuesday afternoon, I should say.
How would you compare like the days following a game where you play, X amount of defensive snaps as opposed to obviously, I say it all the time, you led the NFL in special team snaps before, so like obviously you're still playing a ton of snaps, but like what's the difference in the way your body's feeling after a full game of defense as opposed to a full game of just on special teams?
Yeah, I mean, dude, special teams, like depending on who you play, is still going to be physical. But I mean, I don't think it can ever match the playing like significant amount of snaps on defense, just because you're taking on blocks or taking on linemen or hitting running backs or receivers, tackling people all day. So definitely different. I would say this week been a little bit more focused on the recovery aspect of it because we turn around again and have another big divisional game this week against the Raiders at home. So really, I think it's just I got to put a little bit more time into the recovery stuff, I would say, than if I was just playing teams. But I mean, it varies just based off of how many snaps you play on teams as well. You could have a taxing game on teams when you punt, if you punt double-digit times or whatever it is.
What was I going to say? So are there also, again, I know you've played in a ton of football games over the last couple of years, but are like the nerves a little bit different going in back in the starting lineup again? What do we start, like 8-10 games back in 21, but it's obviously been a couple of years. So, are the nerves a little bit different walking out, staring Aaron Rodgers between the eyes as opposed to walking out for the opening kickoff?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, like since high school, I've really like got pretty big nerves before games. And that's something that carried all the way through college and even professionally. But I would say over the last couple of years, I haven't had like the crazy nerves of like, like that, like I did on Sunday, actually, just because it's not about like, you don't have nerves because you don't believe in yourself or anything like that, but you have the nerves of like, you just want to do well for your teammates, your coaches. Like you don't want to let anybody down. And again, like no one goes out there and just dominates every single week. Like you're going to have your up and down weeks, but just taking over a role of a guy like Alex, who was a big leader for our defense and our team, coming in New York, a road opponent who has plenty of good players and a 4-time MVP at quarterback. Like there's a little nerves there going into the game, but I give a credit to like my teammates, the coaches, everybody like instilled confidence in me. Gave me that look throughout the week of like, we believe in you, we're ready to roll, and it helped out a lot.
Could we have asked for a better start on literally the first play? I'm sure. Did that kind of shut down the nerves? You come out and you sack Aaron Rodgers on the very first play from scrimmage. Does that shut down the nerves a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, definitely when I heard the play call come into the huddle, I was just like, all right, like let's roll. Like we're going. And coming through like that, I would say the only coaching point was I got to get that ball out next time,
Got to. That was the first thing I thought, dude. I was like, what's he doing?
But yeah, definitely starting the game off like that is good for getting the nerves out, but it's also good to get our sideline and our team like juiced up and ready to roll. You know how it is playing college football for a long time, like getting that energy from your teammates in the sideline is definitely big, especially on the road.
Also getting some energy from some fans in the stadium. I was obviously there repping my 40. A couple of choice words after the first play from some of the Jets faithful. Almost got into it with Fireman Ed, not actually, but maybe. But yeah, a lot of choice words. Now it's always tough going on the road. I felt like entering a hostile environment in the opposing team jersey. It was like I was out there with you guys. So now we're 2-2. We started 0-2. Like, was there a change there at the 2 games into the season, because they were both super close games, obviously playing good teams as well, but like now we're rolling a little bit. We got 2 in a row. The defense looks like as good of a defense as we have in the league right now. Like, did something change at 0-2, or like did you just kind of keep chopping through, and now it finally paying off with some wins?
Yeah, I think there's a multiple different things that are going on. Like, yeah, obviously, like right now our defense is dominating, and that's what everybody's talking about online. And coach calls it kind of like rat poison. Like, everyone's telling you how great you are and things like that. But like a year ago, I mean, like literally a year ago, like today, we were in Miami, 70 points dropped on us. Everybody wanted Vance Joseph fired. Like, the defense was terrible. So it's like, dude, this league, the media and the outside noise just goes up and down. And, based off of what you're doing, whether you win or lose, obviously has a huge part in that. But, we started out 0-2, and we did happen to open up with 2 very good opponents. Both were undefeated going into this week. Coach Payton talks about, like, the progress you make in the first 4 weeks of an NFL season is like very like pivotal and important to how how your season's gonna go. And we happen to be going on a 2-game road trip 0-2. So I think you don't want to say it was make or break for our season, but to get back-to-back road victories and put ourselves at 500 coming home for back-to-back divisional games here, I think was huge for us.